and welcome back to Mommy Talk. This is where I like to talk about my life and all things mommy. And I don't really have a ton to really update as far as how I go. My hormones have really been, I think, out of whack lately. I am definitely having like a lot more mood swings, I think, so I don't really know what's going on with that. I've tried to take my placenta pills more consistently because if you remember in my last video I was talking about how I didn't like remember to take them all the time, so I decided to really try to take them like every single day and consistently and see kind of what the effects were of that. And especially since I was starting to feel a little bit more like down a lot, and you know, I was starting to feel a little blue oftentimes, so that was something that I thought maybe it might act as almost like a natural sort of antidepressant. And what I found was I was taking 2 pills every day in the morning time, and the effects that I had were definitely not what I was expecting. This is kind of what my expectations were. I was expecting it to sort of act as like a natural sort of like antidepressant and kind of like a big energy booster, like a mini caffeine pill, if you will. I was sort of kind of expecting that, and maybe even more so like hoping for that. But really the only significant change that I saw was that it increased my milk supply like tenfold. That was a little bit of a letdown, if you will. Breast milk humor. No, but seriously, it was, I would definitely like within by day 3, I would say, of taking it consistently, I was becoming like engorged. My milk supply has been pretty regulated since Zuko has been home. For a while there I was dealing with a little bit of oversupply because I was pumping so much while he was in NICU. Ever since he came home and he started like nursing from the breast, it definitely regulated out on its own within probably about a month, maybe even less time than that, within a few weeks even. And since then, I think I provide like just enough milk for him, and I do still feel a letdown, but I definitely don't feel like engorged at all unless I go quite a few hours without feeding. And even then I've gone all day and only start to feel engorged after like 6 to 8 hours of like not feeding him. And that obviously you can tell doesn't really happen very often. And as soon as I stopped taking the placenta pills, my breast milk went right back to normal supply. I didn't really notice any increase in energy. I don't know if that's just because of how sleep deprived I am. Nothing could really cure that, but I didn't really notice anything as far as that. As far as like any kind of emotional help, I didn't really notice any significant change. If anything, I may have even felt worse, maybe even on the placenta pills, and I think it's because obviously they are so jam-packed with vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that, but they're also probably jam-packed with a lot of like hormones, and I think that was just my body telling me that they were hormones that I just probably didn't need right now. I just don't think that that is something that I really need at this point. I'm not saying that it has been a negative experience, so if this is something that you're thinking of doing, my advice to you would be go for it. Definitely try it, see what it does for you, because I can always keep these pills for a later time. I've heard that you can even use them during like menopause or whatever, and you know, who knows, every pregnancy is different and every postpartum is different. So my recommendation is that you just go ahead and try it and just see what it does for you personally. But as far as me, I just don't think that it's something that is necessary for me at this time, and if I ever do find myself where I need to just kind of like get that instant like supply boost, I definitely know where to go for it now. Weight update for me, I'm almost embarrassed to say this. I actually have not gained or lost any weight still. I am still stuck at that 140. I fluctuated between 139 and 140, but that really just, I don't think even makes that much of a difference. You can fluctuate like a couple pounds, you know, every single day based on like what time of day it is. I'm really not putting like a lot of like thought into that, but I am basically at 140 pounds still, so I have completely plateaued at my weight ever since Hugo was born. I have been 140 since he was born, basically, and that's where I've stayed. I definitely think that being my 4th baby, that weight is just not going to sort of shed off or come off like I hoped it would, like it has before with my previous children. So that is something that is kind of a disappointment, but also not that much of a surprise. Now, I've had 4 children now, and they've all been, you know, pretty much back to back. So that's definitely not something that comes as too much of a shock. And I'm not incredibly active right now, and I often do boredom eat. And I know what you're thinking, like, how do you boredom eat with 4 kids? How are you ever bored? It's not so much that I'm not busy, it's just more like when you're spending most of your day nursing a baby or trying to chase after little ones, you often like go into the kitchen for whatever is just like the quickest. So a lot of times you'll grab like a cookie on the way or like a Pop-Tart or something like that. Okay, so this is something that I have to update on. I almost want to like stop updating you guys about certain things because every time I do, I jinxed myself. To clue you in on what I'm talking about, basically in my last video, I was reporting to you guys that I was pleasantly surprised that I had not had any hair loss whatsoever, and ever since I made that video I have been having postpartum hair loss like crazy. It comes out in gobs in the showers. I'm brushing it out of my hair, and every time I like run my fingers through my hair there's always just like a bunch of hair that comes out. I totally jinxed myself, and I remember this exact same thing happening like in my pregnancy vlogs. I don't remember what week it was, but I remember talking about how like my morning sickness had completely faded and how I was feeling like really great. And then after I posted that video, like the very next day I started having like a bunch of nausea and vomiting and stuff like that. I'm wondering if it's me, as if it's the vlogs. I'm totally jinxing myself when I'm talking about pleasant symptoms, so I'm gonna have to like think about that in the future when I'm making these updates. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for me. So going back over my symptoms, I have like lethargy, which is probably due to just like sleep deprivation, emotional kind of ups and downs, which again probably leads back to that like sleep deprivation. Maybe not directly linked, but you know, probably a big side effect of that. Plateau of weight, which hopefully will change by the next month. Pretty much I think that's all I have to update on. I really don't think there's anything else. I'm definitely like all over the place when it comes to just like my thought process and everything. So I'm definitely claiming mommy brain for pretty much everything in my life right now. Anyway, if there is something else that you guys think of that I haven't thought of, or if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer, or that, you know, whatever, about my postpartum, your postpartum, as always, just leave a comment in the comment section down below. Besides that, I think that the only thing left to do is show you my 4-month postpartum belly. So this is with the shirt down, with the shirt up. Alright guys, that's my time today. If you like this video, make sure that you are clicking that like button down below. Subscribe if you aren't already, share with your friends, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye guys!